Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Omega Ruby with only one Shedinja was a brutal solo run, as expected. Let's follow that up with one that might be a little bit easier. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Red with a team of only one Mewtwo. I mean, I basically suggested this as a joke, but it's also one that you guys have requested a weirdly large amount over the years, and then you guys voted for it on Patreon, so I guess I gotta do it now. I mean, look at these stats. Do you think there's any chance this is gonna be difficult? Not only that, but look at the moveset. We have Psychic at level 1. Yeah, we don't learn much until way later in the run, and we're likely never even gonna be a high enough level to learn stuff like Recover and Amnesia. But what does it matter? Yeah, Amnesia is ridiculously powerful in Gen 1, but so is Mewtwo. Do I even need it? And I mean, look at this TM move list. We can learn just about every amazing move in the game. Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, we can even learn the overpowered Gen 1 Blizzard. It has 120 power, can freeze, and it has 90 accuracy. And freezing is ridiculous in Gen 1. It's unreal. I mean, as if we need other moves anyway. We might literally sweep everything in the game with Psychic. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. Obviously I can win. Obviously. But I think that the fun of this challenge is seeing just how easy it is and how few fights I can do. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Mewtwo. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Charmander with Mewtwo so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Gygus, or Gigu if you're a real G. Now, I know it absolutely doesn't matter, but I plugged our Mewtwo into an IV calculator just to see what it would say, and we're apparently in the lower half of IVs for everything but special, with us having especially awful health. Our special is somewhere between 6 and 15. Considering 15 is the max in this game for IVs, we might be in the bottom half of that as well. Basically, the only thing we might have a passable IV in is special, and everything else is completely garbage. And now that I'm done telling you that this is a really weak Mewtwo, let's go completely vaporize all of Kanto with it. So first, I'm walking through Viridian Forest on my way to the Rock Gym. Obviously, the Weedles don't stand a chance, and we really don't need any experience, so I avoid everything I can. There's only one required trainer in the whole forest, so he's the only thing I'm planning on fighting before the Rock Gym. Obviously, there's no challenge in using Mewtwo in a Gen 1 run normally, so I think that avoiding every fight I possibly can for the sake of getting as little experience as possible is just a good idea. I want to try my absolute best to walk into gyms at such a low level that we could possibly lose. If I end up never fainting in the whole run, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. Now, enough wasting time, let's go see if we just one-shot Brock's whole team with Psychic the moment we get there. So we ended up getting to Brock's Rock Gym at level 6, about half their level. We didn't one-shot either of them, but they never landed a hit on us, and we ended up leveling up with each Pokemon we made faint. I wonder how often that's gonna happen, us gaining multiple levels in the same gym leader fight. Alright, that was easy, but now we have to fight our way through the route east of Pewter to get to the next major fights. There's a few trainers here that are required, so it's gonna make us level up a little bit, but I'm gonna avoid all the ones that I can. My hope is that maybe if I get to Cerulean City at a really low level, then maybe I'll lose to a rival thanks to Sand Attack, or maybe we won't do much damage to Starmie in the Water Gym, and we could lose as a result. Is it a long shot? Yeah, probably. We're likely gonna win easily at whatever level we get there, but a man can dream. I feel like I'm not usually dreaming of losing, but every week is a new challenge, and this is a particularly weird week. Let's keep moving. On our way there, I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Hey, and while I'm taking the fossil, now's a great time to tell you about this video's sponsor, Factor Meals. Factor Meals is a service where you can get awesome meals delivered right to your door. They're fresh, never frozen, chef-prepared meals that were made fresh that week. You can pick from several meal plans to cater to your personal tastes and needs. Chef's Choice, Vegan, Keto, Protein Plus, and Calorie Smart. I always go with Protein Plus. It's really filling and makes it easy to hit my protein goals. What you get in the box is 6 to 18 chef-prepared packaged meals that have never been frozen. How many you get is up to you when you sign up. Preparing your meals as fast as it can be. Each package has both microwave and oven instructions, with it taking about 2 to 3 minutes in the microwave or 10 to 15 in the oven. It could not be more convenient. No prep time, no cleanup, just good food. Last week I was trying the honey butter grilled chicken. I'm always a fan of this one when it shows up at my door. Really, anything chicken related is going to be an instant winner, but I'm especially into the honey butter grilled chicken because of all the carrot, potato, and green beans. I really like my veggies. My girlfriend went with the garlic cream grilled chicken because it comes with a nice little side of pasta. I would attempt to pronounce the type of noodle that they used, but I'd say it wrong and everyone would get mad at me, so I'm just going to tell you that it tastes great and leave it at that. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code MDBFB50 to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code MDBFB50 at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. MDBFB50 at factor75.com. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with a code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Thanks to Factor Meals for sponsoring this video. Go show them some love at the link at the top of the video description. Now let's go get to that water gym. Okay, so I went after the water gym first, and although Staryu was easy, Starmie was actually doing a lot of damage to us, and we weren't doing a whole lot in return. I probably should have lost this fight, but we ended up dropping Starmie's special twice in a row, not only weakening her water moves, but making our psychics do way more damage. Between that and her weird move choice, we just hardly survived in one. Man, I really thought I was gonna faint there. Maybe our rival can take us out? After that is our rival, but despite him critting us right at the start of the fight, we mopped the floor with his team. He just doesn't hit hard enough yet. Alright, we haven't fainted yet, but it won't be all that long until things get more difficult. The SSN rival fight, the electric gym, those are both gonna be pretty easy, and I'm sure the grass gym's gonna be easy too thanks to them mostly being poison type. Maybe they'll give us issues if we rush there because they have generally strong Pokemon, but unless we get put to sleep or have terrible paralysis luck, I don't think we're gonna run into something that can really fight back. I think it might actually be the first Giovanni fight that has a chance of making us faint. Think about it, if I can avoid a ton of trainers and get there at a really low level, then maybe the brute strength of Kangaskhan could take us out. I don't know, I'm 50-50 on it. We might end up leveling up too much by the time we get there just because of mandatory trainer fights. There are a decent bit of required trainer fights in Rock Tunnel. Might level us up too much, but we'll know when we get there. Alright, first is the SSN rival fight. We totally squashed him. I'm gonna blame it on the 1 extra level up that I got from fighting 2 trainers to get the rest and body slam TMs, just in case I could use them late in the run. I'm sure at 1 level lower, he would have just destroyed us. Hardest run ever. Next is the electric gym, and I kind of thought that maybe if they, crit a Thunderbolt with Raichu, then we could take a lot of damage, but he used Thunder Shock, so it did almost nothing. Isn't it wild to think that I haven't made a single wild Pokemon faint this entire run? I've only fought 2 trainers that aren't required to get to this part of the game, and yet we're still a high enough level that we're breezing through major fights. I'm gonna travel all the way through Rock Tunnel and rush after the Grass Gym. Maybe if I catch it at a low enough level, then we'll get some status afflictions and actually lose a fight. Man, I kinda thought that at the Grass Gym, Victory Bell might be faster than us and throw an effect on us, but we ended up just sweeping them. We even picked up Ice Beam in town, so the Tangela was a one-shot as well. I swear, this has gotta get difficult at some point. After that is Giovanni, and despite going in without full health, we still easily won. They didn't even hit us. I mean, the Pokemon Tower rival fight isn't gonna be hard, right? I don't think it ever is. Yeah, it looks like the rival's just a sweep too. It's crazy to me that we're level 31 after fighting so few Pokemon. I figured that Mewtwo would have leveled up a lot slower than this. Alright, well, I was kinda hoping that the last few trainers would put up some kind of a fight, but even with us fighting almost nothing, we're keeping up with them in levels. Obviously, the upcoming Poison Gym isn't gonna be hard, and I kinda doubt the Fire Gym will be either just because of Blaine's really bad move choice, so maybe there's something that we should do differently this time. Why don't I go after Silphco right away? Normally, this would be way too hard for us to go after early, but it's a Mewtwo run, maybe we should. Our rival's team should be a higher level than us if we go straight there after the Pokemon Tower, and that might be our best chance of actually having a hard fight before the Elite Four. I'm gonna give that a try. So I get to the Silphco rival fight and instantly we get sand attacked, so I figure that there might be some kind of threat. We missed a little bit and took some damage from the Blastoise, who was a good 5 levels higher than us, but we really didn't take much damage and we won pretty easily. Maybe if this was Gen 2 onward, then we'd have taken a lot more damage from Bite, but in Gen 1, Dark-type didn't exist yet, so Bite was just a normal move. Look, if that fight was an easy first try, then I think we might just sweep our way all the way to the pre-Elite Four rival fight. After that is Giovanni, and despite not even bothering to heal myself between major fights, we still just destroyed him. Look, we have Ice Beam and Psychic. I don't think there's any chance that Giovanni poses a real threat for the rest of the game. Maybe he can hit us once with that Dugtrio in the ground gym, but I can't actually see myself fainting in one hit. Guys, I've been doing these Pokemon challenges every week for about 7 years now, and this has to be, without a doubt, one of the all-time weirdest fights I have ever had in a Pokemon game. Put down the vacuum, stop washing the dishes, and put down the homework, because you're gonna want to see this one. So, as I'm sure you can tell, I have not bothered to heal since the Silph rival and Giovanni fights, just to make things harder, and we can't one-shot Kadabra at the start. He's using Recover and Psybeam, but we take him out fast with a few hits of Swift. Second is Mr. Mime, who actually crits a 4-hit double slap to do a lot of damage early on before we can take him out. And third is Venomoth, who has Leech Life, one of the only moves in the game that's super effective against us. Not only did he hit us twice, but the first one crit, so we had only 3 health going into the Alakazam fight. That's when things got insanely weird. Just watch this fight. We have 3 health. We should be doomed, but she won't stop using Recover. She's faster than us and can out-heal us, so there's nothing we can really do. She could finish us off at any time, but she just doesn't, and I don't get why. At first I thought it's because some trainers are programmed to not use not very effective moves, and Recover is Alakazam's only non-psychic move. But the Kadabra earlier in the fight used both Psybeam and Recover, so I guess she can pick not very effective moves, and just isn't for some reason. I don't know, maybe her Alakazam has different AI behavior than her Kadabra, but I don't know why that would be. Well, we ran out of Ice Beams early, and he could out-heal all of our moves. Not only that, but enemy trainers don't use Power Points in Gen 1, so he can use Recover forever. If that happens, then eventually I'm gonna run out of Power Points and faint after using Struggle, so I knew I had to think of something. I started spamming Psychic. It didn't do much damage, but sometimes it would drop his special, so our other Psychics would then do more damage. Just a little bit more damage. Actually, because of how weird set changes work in Gen 1, we would actually sometimes crit our Psychic and do less damage than if we didn't crit, because crits bypass all stat changes in this game, even the ones that help you, like enemy defense downs or your own attack ups. Despite getting tons of special drops, we still weren't doing much damage, so eventually I started using Confusion. I had to hit it a lot before we finally confused him. Then I switched to Swift to do a little more damage. It took a few minutes, but eventually Alakazam hit himself in Confusion, and we finished him off with Swift. We just gave an Alakazam what must have been more than 40 chances to finish us off when we had 3 health, and he simply never did. This may actually be dumber than anything I have ever seen Gen 1 Blaine do. And to follow that up, we go to the Poison Gym, where it's obviously a sweep. That was a little less cool than the Psychic Gym. Then there's the Fire Gym, where we never took a hit because we one-shot swept his whole team other than Arcanine, who just used Roar. Again, that move does nothing in trainer battles in Gen 1, so I don't even know why he has it. Then we fly right on over to the Ground Gym and sweep Giovanni one last time. Even his Dugtrio wasn't faster than us. Hey, we have a rival fight in a minute. Do you think that we're gonna get a really weird Alakazam fight again like we did at the Psychic Gym? I kinda hope so. It'd make the run more interesting. Alright, rival time, and this one is actually dangerous. Right away, Pidgeot crits with Quick Attack before we one-shot it, and second is Rhyhorn, who's obviously slower and goes down in one hit. Third is Growlithe, who we one-shot, and Execute after is of course also a one-shot. Alakazam is next though, and I was really interested in this. We were faster and paralyzed him off a Body Slam, then he used Recover. I thought he'd spam that, but then he used Reflect and Psychic before he faints. I don't get it, Sabrina's Alakazam has Reflect and Psybeam. Why wasn't she using those when this Alakazam will? Anyway, thanks to the paralysis, we took him out pretty fast, although we're still below half health now. Last is Blastoise, and he's not a one-shot, so he bit us down to only 45 health as we finished him off. We won, but we were almost in red health by the end. This is the hardest fight the whole run so far. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. I mean, they're fantastic, but we're also like 30 levels lower than we often are when we get here. So weirdly enough, it's not as high as some of the categories we often see. If it wasn't for how insanely overpowered Gen 1 Psychic is, I'd actually think the Elite Four could give us a bit of an issue. I went ahead and replaced Confusion with Thunderbolt so that we have a better move for Lorelei, and I replaced Ice Beam with that totally overpowered Gen 1 Blizzard, because I want to win this at as low of a level as I can. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. Right away we one-shot Dugong thanks to a crit, but second is Cloyster, and it's actually not a one-shot, so we get hit by a weak Aurora Beam before it goes down. Slowbro only hits water guns, so we're not too hurt, but next is Jinx, and our body slams are doing less damage than I expected. Because of that, we actually ended up getting hit a few times for a lot of damage. Last is Lapras, and I'm like 99% sure that we're gonna faint, but then she misses a body slam, and we win. That's a 100 accuracy move, so that means that the 256 glitch just happened. The first time I was going to faint was the Psychic Gym, and we were saved by Sabrina's AI imploding, and here we are about to faint again, and she rolls a 1 in 256. What's going on? Why can't I get this luck when the run is actually hard? Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. I mean, he's the fighting trainer. Of course we sweep him. I can't imagine Agatha or Lance are going to be that tough either. Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. This was actually harder than I thought it was going to be because we can't one-shot the Gengars. Now, we lucked out at the start when we got hit by Hypnosis, instantly woke up, but just taking Nightshade twice during the fight got us one hit away from fainting. If we had gotten a little bit less lucky with Hypnosis, we could have lost that. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. Now, obviously, most of his team is a sweep with Blizzard, but that Aerodactyl actually did nearly as much damage as the Gengars did. Those bites really did hit hard. We've won every single fight in the game on the first try so far. Not a single feint. Are we going to first try every single fight in the game? Finally, the Pokemon Champion. First up is Pidgeot, who's a one-shot with a critical Blizzard, and second is Alakazam. Right away, we can't one-shot him, so he hits us with Psychic, and it ended up lowering our special. That's a really bad thing to have happen right near the start. We took him out soon after, but that special drop is going to be a big problem. Rhydon is a one-shot with Blizzard, and next is Arcanine, who takes way less damage off Psychic than he should. He missed Leer, but then he crits us with Takedown, so we lost over 100 health from that before we finished him off. Second from last is Executor, but we didn't do even half his health and damage with Blizzard. We got stomped down to 11 health, then finished him off with a crit. Last is Blastoise, and this is tense. We hit a kind of weak Thunderbolt as he wasted a turn with Withdraw. We hit him again, and he used a full restore to bring his health back up. We Thunderbolted him a third time, but then he uses Blizzard and hits. We were so close. If it wasn't for that special drop, it would have been the first challenge without a single feint for the first time ever. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm convinced I don't need to level up. I'm gonna keep trying. Alright, well the next try starts incredibly easy as Pidgeot doesn't hit us, Alakazam spams Reflect and doesn't hit us, Rhydon only got us with a Tail Whip, Arcanine uses Roar instead of, critting a takedown, so we still have full health going into the Executor fight. You think that would make it easy, but he still stomps us twice and ended up doing a ton of damage, so we're hardly in a better position than before, we just have more special. Well, that ended up helping us a lot, because not only did we do more damage to Blastoise, we survived Blizzard this time to get the knockout and the win. Now I know you all think that the run is over, but it's not done yet. We might be in the Hall of Fame, but there's still something else that we need to do. There's still a post-game secret fight for us to do, and I think you guys have an idea of what it might be. No, it's not Cubone, although that would be really funny. It's a much bigger threat, and I have no idea how this is gonna go. It's time for the mirror match, and he's a whole 20 levels higher than us. This is actually really hard. We lucked out with our first body slam paralyzing him, but he was hitting us hard with Swift, and he loves spamming Recover to out-heal us. None of our moves do almost any damage to him, so I was hoping for crits, but eventually I got a good streak of him not healing thanks to paralysis. I whittled him down with Psychic a bit, hoping for a special drop, but once he dropped into red health, I was about to go for Blizzard to finish him off. That's when he crit Swift to knock us out. Man, I was so close. I don't think I'd even have fainted if not for the crit. I know I can do this, I just gotta keep trying. So I try the fight again and instantly paralyze him, but man, I can't seem to get special drops like I used to. I'm spamming Psychic and only get one special drop after ages. I tried using Blizzard after to see how much more damage it would do, but it's still not great. Still, Psychic is only doing slightly less damage than Body Slam, and it does more damage than Body Slam after a special drop. Hey, do you think that maybe I should just be using Blizzard? Yeah, it doesn't do much damage, but Gen 1 Freeze is insanely overpowered. If I freeze him, I think I just win the fight. Okay, next try and it starts awful. He uses Barrier early, so Body Slam is out of the question, and we just keep missing Blizzard despite it being 90 accuracy in this game. We started taking big damage, and it was looking like another failed try when we hit a Blizzard and froze him solid. Then I just spammed Psychic until he fainted. And of course, once he was frozen and couldn't fight back, we were getting tons of special drops. Why that couldn't have happened on the first try, I don't know, but hey, it's a win. I'm pretty sure in Gen 1 you straight up can't unfreeze yourself unless you have a fire move or an item, so he was doomed the moment that Blizzard froze him. Man, that was actually a really fun run. We had a couple of really weird fights, a lot of really quick travel, and a mercifully short workload after that Shedinja challenge in the Omega Ruby run the other week. Crazy that we ended at such a low level too. I think I only fought 4 or 5 non-mandatory trainers, and I don't think that I made a single wild Pokemon faint that entire run. Crazy to think that despite no grinding at all, we still somehow hit level 50. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual with Pokemon Heart Gold with only 1 Cubone. Yes, I'm absolutely doing it because we just did a Mewtwo run. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge quest section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time, I got some good news. You remember last week when I was saying that I feel like I forgot the $50 supporter shoutout thing the week before? Yeah, someone went back and checked. It turns out I didn't forget. I don't know why it felt like I did, but it felt like I did. So I'm just gonna say it right now, so there's no risk of me forgetting now that I'm talking about it. $50 supporter shoutout tier. Thank you so much, Jacob Busby, Javid Kusaro, Grayson Fitz, Tara Luis, Dark Soul, Young Smoky VP, Gabriel Thornton, Hernandez Punchdick, Crystal Sunrise, The Hyphen One, and Man Spider. I very much appreciate all of your continued support, especially because business taxes are coming up pretty soon. And man, pay got slashed a lot this year. View count's basically the same, but you know, YouTube changes things every year, and pay got slashed in terms of AdSense, at least for me. I know it's like different person to person and everything. It's based on a lot of weird ad category stuff. So that's not the funnest thing. I guess technically I'm making very slightly more money off the memberships because they mandatory raised the prices recently. I talked about this on the YouTube post page thing, by the way. This is going to hit every YouTube account in, I think it's August, but people have the option to opt in early. They're doing this thing where YouTube is doing like regional pricing for memberships now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not thrilled about it. It looks like it's gonna cost a lot of people a lot of money, mostly if you're from like Brazil. It doesn't look like it affects the United States. I don't think it affects Canada too much, but it affects a lot of the world. A lot of the world is gonna have to pay more for memberships, and that really sucks. But the thing that they didn't say in there is that they're also raising the minimum prices, because when it gave me the menu to like look at what the prices will be, it made the credits, I think, $1.50 USD, something like that. I used to have it as like $1 because that was the lowest it let me do. So I guess they're raising the minimums that YouTubers are allowed to set their tiers at. So if you end up noticing that like a bunch of your favorite YouTubers' membership prices go up a little bit, sorry, it's probably out of their control. Some of these raises are out of my control. I didn't manually raise anything. I tried to keep the price the absolute closest to the current one I could, because I think that the current prices on my memberships are actually really fair. Oh man, and I made another post on this too. Patreon has been emailing me and a bunch of other YouTubers trying to convince us to raise our prices, and at least they haven't tried to force it yet. It's not like YouTube where they're literally forcing it and they're trying to get you excited about it, like that's a good thing. But I'm gonna be honest, this will probably lead to it getting forced on Patreon later down the line. Cause like, look, YouTube was asking at first, and now it's a big announcement that we're all supposed to be super excited about, like it's a good thing, and they just try and sell like, oh, it's so good for you creators. You'll make more money. Oh, the Patreon email was hilarious. It was like, did you know that if you charge more money, you'll make more money? Oh, thanks for telling me, Patreon. I couldn't figure that one out. Oh my god. Yeah, so like, just be aware. Like, I was trying to tell people like the other month, hey, YouTube membership prices are going up site-wide, it seems. You might want to check your favorite creators' Patreons, because if they give the same rewards there, you might want to switch over to doing it there to get a better price for yourself. It's kind of looking like maybe Patreon is going to go the same direction. Usually these websites ask before it becomes a fun new feature. So I get the feeling they're testing the waters for that. Prices are probably going to go up. I'm sorry. As long as it's under my control, the prices aren't going to go up, because I think that the current prices are pretty fair. But things like the credit price on YouTube going up a little bit, that was legit out of my control. I couldn't pick the lower option anymore. It didn't let me on the page. So I'm guessing that that's just what the new minimum is now. It's funny, on YouTube, you can't type in a number for like a paid tier. It's all preset ones on a drop-down list that you have to pick from. Anyway, if you do want the perks, like seeing these videos a minimum of a week early, to be honest, lately it's been more like a week and a half to 2 weeks early, which has been very cool. If you want to see these videos early, if you want to participate on fun polls and stuff, you know, random stuff like that, if you want to be in the credits, hey, Patreon's there, memberships are there. The show is always going to be free. I'm not going to like paywall some kind of big important video or something. Nothing like that. It's all optional. I know that, yeah, money ain't great for me and it ain't great for you either. I mean, I remember when I made the post the other day about the whole Patreon thing, someone was saying like, hey, I get it though, like, isn't it good to raise the prices while the times are good so that you can make some money for when the times are bad? Yes, that is, but like, I agree with what the other people said in reply to that, which is, yeah, but the times aren't good. Like, come on, who thinks that times are financially good right now? That's nuts. Everybody's struggling. I know I am. I don't know what I'm doing in a month when the corporate tax comes in. I'm gonna have to just do fundraising again, I guess. I've been trying to fundraise this whole time, but like, when my computer exploded at like the same time that all the RAM prices and everything skyrocketed, and I needed to replace my motherboard, my RAM, and my CPU at the same time. Oh, and then I think it was a month before or a month after that Cebu had all his dental work. I never fully financially recovered from that. But like, aren't you all in the same position? I bet you half of you guys have the exact same story as me. It's just a different circumstance in your life. Maybe your car broke down or something. I don't know, man. Everything's rough right now. All I know is I'm going to try my absolute best to stream as much as I can in the near future, both for fundraising purposes and also because I really miss streaming more and it's hard to find the time. And I'd way rather work for my money than just be like, give money. You owe me nothing. I will earn it, thank you. Alright, that's enough rambling. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.